Pele, Pele the Flying Kangaroo, he was a drummer, and really he kept the Soul Truckers right on time, if you will.
I think I could say, without a doubt, that the Soul Truckers were easily the most mediocre organization that I've ever been a part of.
I got your natural born African American. Oh, I didn't know I was on tape.
Early on in the chapel, Merle wasn't always there. Sometimes Pele was filling in. And I'd show up for practice and not know, well, is it going to be Merle tonight?
I'm in a pissy mood. Just shut up and play.
Is it going to be Pele?
The record show, I was the first person to actually turn the snare drum on before I started playing. And these drums are messed up. They're not set up right.
Back when Pele was added, honestly, it didn't bother me a bit. Pele's a pretty good boy, darn good drummer.
I'm just as God made me.
I knew he was better than I was, as far as sets go.
For the most part, just as me.
I didn't mind him coming in at all. Others probably wondered how I was going to react to it.
My freaking cymbal stand is screwed.
Yeah, I screwed up the cymbal stand. Last time we were here, I was...
Let's get Sam.
It's not my fault, man. It's a piece of crap.
So finally, Pele just sort of was enveloped into the band.
Soul Truckers?
Yeah, Soul Truckers, yes.
Are they a new religious cult? I hate cults. Turn the camera off.
Yeah, I remember I heard of the group called the Soul Trucker, and I was like, what the heck is that? I can just picture a bunch of guys driving around in diesels singing songs on the CBs or something. But one day they actually did a concert at school, and I said, I go check that out. I always want to be a part of a band. I always want to be a part of a touring group, electric guitars, just a full-blown band, actually well-known band.
I always wanted to start this band called the Mole Crickets.
So I went and checked them out, and I got to know Mac and Pele and a couple of the guys, and I was like, hey man, y'all need a keyboard player. And they're like, yeah, we'll think about it.
I was talking about this Mole Cricket deal.
Anyway, they went on and played a couple more months, and they played a lot of the redneck scenes.
A lot of Pentecostal churches. Women with hairspray, to high heaven, denim skirts. It was 100 degrees in Alabama, and women are swatting gnats, and they've got denim skirts on, and I know they've got to be hot.
So I went up to them again and said, hey man, y'all need a keyboard player. He's like, well, we're actually thinking about it. You know where we can find one? I said, man. He said, that's me.
Mole Cricket this, Mole Cricket that.
Things went on from there, and eventually they asked me to come to a practice one night, and that's when the whole thing began.
We all got together at Merle's rehearsal space in Lizella, Georgia, and Uncle Tom showed up for an audition. And I'd never heard the kind of music he played before. There's a soulfulness to Uncle Tom's work, and there's a cheesiness as well. And seldom do you hear the two combine in such a way.
That night we practiced, and all the guys seemed to think I did an alright job, so they asked me to kind of stick around. To begin with, I was just kind of hanging around, not doing a whole lot, but eventually they let me on stage, and I think it surprised some people because I actually could play. practicing down at Bruton Parker, and Mac, he just turned around and said,
High school band?
and I was like, no, 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 no.
I'd rather not talk about it.
High school band, marching band, whatever you want to call it, it was different. It was needed.
I played that keyboard for a while, and then one day I was reading in the Bargain Hunter, which is a little paper that came out by day, and about this guy that was selling out his music shop. So I went there one night, checked it out, and went in this dark, dim room, hardly any lights on at all. We were just kind of stumbling over drum equipment and guitars and all kind of stuff. And I looked up and saw these two big black boxes, almost like caskets. And I said, dude, what is that? He says, that is a Fender Rhodes stage piano. Anyway, it was called the Daddy. So my equipment I used was the marching band and the Daddy pretty much the whole time.
He could tickle those keys, man. Tickle the ivories, as they say, but I don't think they were really made out of ivory. Ivory, I think is the plural. He was an exponent, whatever that means.
All right, all the ladies in the house say yeah. Yeah! All right.
Come and Join the Band was a breakthrough album because it got us noticed. It got us, what I said earlier, out of that Pentecostal circuit. It got us onto the charts.
Can't say enough about that one, really.
That was my first one.
The most fun I've ever had playing of all times.
Come and Join the Band put the Soul Truckers on the map.
Songs like Superman.
He never left tall buildings in a single band. Cause there wasn't skyscrapers when the Lord was around. He never stopped a speeding bullet or a train. But one day he stopped the wind and the rain.
Come and Join the Band.
Come and join the band. Traveling to New Jerusalem.
Lots of good hits on that one.
Jesus gonna cut you to the core. Jesus gonna trample on your sin. Jesus gonna tear you to pieces and put you back together again.
Well, the type of music was very unique.
Southern Christian gospel alternative music.
I heard it mentioned as alternative Southern gospel, Chinese bluegrass,
Oriental bluegrass.
different things. I think it did make us special.
Jesus drove a diesel, he'd keep his log up to date. He'd never load his rig an ounce overweight. He'd stick to the speed limit and get there on time. If Jesus drove a diesel, he'd drive it down the line.
Mac was really there to promote the album, and I think he did a good job with that.
Records are released on Tuesdays. And I can remember going to the local music store, and they actually had a pre-release. It was for another band.
Swing Downers or Swinger Downers or Swing Me Downers or something like that. I don't know. They suck.
But I paid the manager of the store, I paid him $100. I said, will you please have our music playing over the PA? Nobody knew who we were. I stood in line like everybody else. We outsold that band that night. People could hear it, and they could hear the difference.
Obi-Wan Kabuki. That's another guy that I never really learned a whole lot about.
I really think that more than any other member of the band, he and I, we were like brothers. Our souls were connected somehow.
I roomed with him. We actually, when we weren't on tour, we actually lived in in the same dormitory at the time, believe it or not.
Obi-Wan and I, we go way back. Even before he finished high school, I met him. He came to Whiting Memorial, which I was, going to church there at the time, and he would bring his little cassette recorder and pop in his cassettes and say, "I'm gonna sing for Jesus." This is before he was out of school. Kind of remind me of one of those little monkeys that you see at the circus when they had the little cymbals going. Give me some money.
Great singer.
He could just sing so well.
He had some soul,
He wasn't a very white person at all.
and he had some musical influences.
So much style,
Drank a lot of Mountain Dews.
a deep soulfulness.
I remember that dude drank a lot of Mountain Dews.
Well, I had seen, before with the Soul Truckers, a sense of camaraderie and the faith in each other that I'd lacked in any band I'd ever been in.
We invited Obi-Wan to join the band. We said, come and join the band.
The artistic freedom in the Soul Truckers was something that was really where I was at.
And he came and he joined the band.
I walked into A112 Barren Ridge in Mount Vernon, Georgia, and the first person I caught a glimpse of was Uncle Tom B. Hammond III doing a shuffle on a djembe drum, singing unrehearsed harmony to come and join the band, and it was moving. I was humbled. I got asked that musical question.
Asia.